Welcome back. In the last class, we learned the poem, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." And let us move to the concluding part of the poem, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." In the last class, we learned that the poet describes the beautiful things which are present on earth. These are the sun, moon, trees, flowers, daffodils and the rivers. Poet says that all these things are like a blessing bestowed on all the creatures by earth. He further describes that the trees provide us with their shade, flowers with their beauty and fragrance, and rivers with their coolness during the hot summers. All of these are beauties of nature which are like a boon for us. And now let us move to the concluding part of the poem, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." Rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such a too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. All lovely tales that have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink, pouring into us from the heavens brink. So here the poet further carries on with the description of more beautiful things present on earth, such as the beautiful roses, such as the beautiful musk roses which have such a nice fragrance. Then he describes the tales or the stories of the mighty warriors who laid their lives for their countries or for humanity. He says that these beautiful things are the gifts from God for all of us. They are like a nectar. They are like honey given by God to us. And these are the beautiful things. So let us move to the key points of the last stanza, or describe the stanza in detail. Rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. So the whole world is filled with the flowers, especially rose flowers, red rose flowers covered with dewdrops, or red rose flowers spreading fragrance everywhere. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. And here the poet describes the books of, or the stories, or the books describes the stories of great personalities we heard or read, the grandeur of the dooms, and we learn about great personalities, mighty, powerful personalities. And yet dooms means, there is a popular saying, the crack of doom, end of world. And it is also mentioned about the time of last judgment. And the mighty dead. And if we turn the leaves of history, if we move back to history, we will get ample evidences regarding the mighty, the great personalities they enriched the whole world with their lofty thoughts. We have imagined for the mighty dead and all their lovely tales, the beautiful stories of their work here on earth. You take the case of Mother Teresa, and you know, we are living in a democratic country. Democracy is the only hope for the survival of human species. There is no guarantee for a sudden or immediate victory in democracy, but democracy is considered as the only hope for the survival of human species. But this is only one side of the picture. The other side is dark and dangerous. And in this free democratic society, we know, where we can find out hundreds of thousands of people possesses nothing except a hungry stomach. On the one side, the rich become richer, and on the other side, the poor become poorer. There exists a wide lacuna, wide gap between the poor and the rich. The rich people are living in sky-kissing mansions, and the poor people are living in thatched sheds, and they possess nothing except a hungry stomach. In this free democratic society, hundreds of thousands of people are living in abject poverty. A good life has become a negation to them. In such a country, Mother Teresa. And he, just like an angel of mercy, and she wanted to uplift the poor and needy, the dying and destitutes. She is ready to uplift the poor and needy, the help poor people in our society, the vulnerable people in our society, the have-nots in our society. So, the life and history, or the story of her life will invigorate us. And the poet is saying, lovely tales, the lovely tales that we heard or read, that stories of great personalities, their contribution will empower us. Surely it will encourage us to continue our life here on earth, because they highlighted the significance of or the superiority of moral force over physical force. Gandhiji also said what we need is superiority of moral force over physical force. Such lofty thoughts, such defying thoughts will encourage us, or such lofty thoughts will give us the energy to live here on earth. As we studied earlier, the present world is a world of tension and worry, and we like to live here because of these beautiful things. If you read the story of Mahatma Gandhi, if you read the story of Swami Vivekananda or APJ Abdul Kalam, it will encourage us. You take the case of Swami Vivekananda, and he said, awake, arise, we are called. Our calling is divine. Our calling is impeccable. We are called to generate love. We are called to generate energy. And he also said, let not the barks of puppies frighten you. Let not thunderbolt frighten you. You stand up and toil. See, all these words encourage us. I repeat, let not the barks of puppies frighten you. You are here to do great things. You are great, and you are here to do great things. Such empowering words. Actually, he injected lion's blood into the languid veins of poor Indians. His life history will encourage us. So the poet said, all lovely tales, all books describing the life history of great personality or those who pay the wages of their sin will encourage us. It will give us, or it will give the encouragement to continue our life with more vigor, with more courage, capacity here on earth. So, see the beautiful things, rose flowers, musk rose flowers, red rose flowers spreading fragrance. And the people who passed away, their stories, their contribution, their life will encourage us. We have imagined for the mighty dead. And all stories, all tales that we have heard or read will encourage us. And these stories, this beautiful history, empowering history will encourage us also. It will inject blood. What kind of blood? Inspiring blood into our languid, weak and feeble veins. In other words, these stories will encourage us to live here on earth. And let us move to the next sentence. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring into us from heaven's brink. All these are an endless fountain of everlasting drink. Who gave this everlasting drink? It is God. And from heaven's brink, actually, all these beautiful things are compared to a nectar, a honey or nectar flowing from heaven, pouring unto us from heaven's brink. In other words, all these blessings, all these beautiful things are just like nectar pouring from heaven. In other words, God jealously and passionately loves human beings. God created all these things for human beings. But we human beings are fault finders and finding fault or finding negative things and following negative aspects. That is the root cause of our suffering. That is the root cause of our despondency. So, actually, in the last stanza, in the concluding stanza of the poem, A Thing of Beauty is a Joyful Ever by John Keats, is saying that all the beautiful things, who created all these things? God created all these things. And as I said you earlier, I hope that all of you remember what I said in the last class. Our God is not a mere God. Our God is the creator of sun, moon, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And He is the center of creation. And He is not a mere God. As we read in Bible, don't be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. For the Lord, the God is with you wherever you go. And that God is not a mere God. That God is the creator of the whole universe. And that God bless us, bestowed all these things to us. And if you remember, my dear students, you keep in mind that we human beings are nothing. All our glory comes from God. All beauty comes from God. All strength comes from God. all strength, all stamina, vigor, vitality, everything comes from God. We human beings are nothing. We are nothing without God. And here the poet in the concluding stanza points out that and God's blessings, especially beauty, is just like a fountain of nectar or honey from God to human beings. You see how jealously and passionately God loves us, God loves human beings, is providing nectar, is providing honey, is providing everything. But we human beings are unmindful of all these things. So you keep in mind, you focus, and let me conclude and we'll come to the concluding part of the poem. So the poet further carries the description of the more and more beautiful things present on earth. So dear students, you focus on beautiful things. You focus on positive aspects in life, such as the beautiful roses, which has such a nice fragrance. And he also describes the stories of the mighty warriors, the stories of mighty warriors, mighty soldiers who sacrificed their life for the motherland. You know, war is a dirty mess. War destroys everything which human beings diligently built up through centuries. In each and every war, our soldiers are sacrificing their ambitions and aspirations to protect their motherland from aggression, external aggression. And there the stories of these mighty warriors who laid their lives for their countries, who laid their lives for humanity, are very great. And their history provide inspiration to us. Their life stories inspire us. All these are beautiful. The message of Mother Teresa, the message of Swami Vivekananda, the message of Mahatma Gandhi and other great personalities are gifts from God for all of us. And their messages are just like honey. They are like nectar given by God. So God is providing nectar in the form of these great personalities and beautiful things. You keep in mind, always as students, you be a follower of positive things in life. Ignore and you wipe out, abandon negative thoughts from your minds. You throw away negative thoughts into the ocean. Fill your hearts with the positive things. Fill your hearts with beauty. Fill your heart with the beautiful thoughts. Instead of filling negative and evil things in your mind, fill your mind with the positive things. Definitely you will climb the ladder of success. Definitely you will achieve success in your life. Definitely you can serve your fellow being. If you are keeping a fellow feeling, then you can achieve here on earth and in God's other kingdom. So the best thing, the positive, maintain positive thoughts in your life. So let us discuss some questions connected to this poem. See, the first question in connection with the poem, what makes human beings love life in spite of troubles and sufferings? And this is the central point of this poem. What makes human beings love life? You know, some out of despondency, some people are committing suicide. They don't like life. So how we must learn how to love life in spite of troubles and sufferings. See, there are many things that brings us troubles. In this world, there are many things that brings us troubles, that brings us sufferings. They discourage our spirit. These troubles discourage our enthusiasm. However, some shape of beauty brings love. Some shape of beauty brings happiness in our lives, in spite of sudden unpleasant things. So there may be unpleasant things, but these beautiful things brings us love and happiness. Keep that point in your mind. So a thing of beauty removes the pall of darkness and sufferings. It makes us love life. Repeat and keep this point in your mind. A thing of beauty removes the pall of sadness and sufferings. It makes us love life. You love, if you want to love your life, you remove the pall of sadness from your life. So let us move to the second question. What is the grandeur associated with the mighty dead? So this is another question. The grandeur associated with the mighty and the great. So their achievements, the achievements made them mighty. The achievements in life made them mighty and powerful or great. Their noble words dazzle us. Their noble words dazzle our eyes. And we imagine that such a mighty dead forefathers will attain more grandeur on the doomsday. And these forefathers will achieve great rewards at the time of the doomsday, at the time of judgment, last judgment. In the end of world or in the crack of doom, God will appear and God will give reward. And we imagine that such a mighty dead or such a mighty dead forefathers will attain more might or more grandeur on the day of judgment, on the doomsday. Hence, grandeur is associated with the mighty dead. They will get more power and more gifts at the time of last judgment. And one more question. Do we experience things of beauty only for short moments? Or do they make a lasting impression on us? I repeat, do we experience things of beauty only a very short moments, or it is fugitive in existence, or do they make a lasting impression on us? So we feel happy by coming into contact with beautiful things. If we want to be happy, you make contact with the beautiful things, and they make a lasting effect, a lasting impression on us. Beautiful things gives us a lasting impression on us. Keats makes it clear that at the very outset of the poem, Keats makes it clear. A thing of beauty is a joy for ever. At the very outset of the poem, the poet makes it clear that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. It is a constant source of joy. It is a constant source of pleasure, and its beauty never declines, never diminishes, never vanishes. Its loveliness goes on increasing every moment. Its value remains undiminished. It never passes into nothingness. It removes the pall of sadness and covers our dark spirits. So let me conclude with the last question. what image does the poet uses to describe the beautiful bounty of the earth? So John Keats uses a very beautiful image to describe the beautiful bounty of the earth. It is the endless fountain of immortal drink. It pours constantly into our hearts from heaven. Thus it is just like a honey pouring us from heaven. Thus the beautiful bounty of the earth is called an endless fountain of immortal drink. So it is an ever-ending process. Thus the beautiful bounty of the earth is called an endless fountain of immortal drink. So let me conclude. You keep all these things, remember all these things and learn thoroughly. May God bless you. Thank you.